At 8:01 on the morning of 26 June 1974, a cashier passed a small pack of chewing gum across a supermarket scanner in Troy, Ohio. The machine recognized the product, retrieved its price, and produced a simple electronic beep. It looked like a slightly faster way to process a checkout. But that ordinary transaction would change retail forever. Today, that same basic identity connects supermarket checkouts with shelves, warehouses, distribution centers, suppliers, and factories. It helps companies know what was manufactured, what was shipped, what arrived, and what consumers finally bought. How can a few black lines identify billions of products? Why has RFID still not replaced them? And why is the barcode preparing for its biggest transformation in 50 years? This is the story of the invisible code that runs global retail. Before barcodes, every supermarket checkout depended on price stickers, human memory, and manual data entry. Employees placed labels on individual products and replaced them whenever prices changed. A missing sticker could stop the line while someone searched the store for the correct price. Registers recorded money, but often not the exact product that created the sale. Inventory was counted with clipboards, ledgers, and paper forms, often after the store closed. By the time managers reviewed the numbers, fast-selling products could already be out of stock. The barcode changed that. One scan could record the sale, reduce inventory, and begin a replenishment signal. A barcode is a structured pattern of black bars and white spaces that represents an identifying number. For many retail products, that number is a GTIN, a global trade item number. The GTIN identifies a specific product and pack configuration. A single bottle and a six-pack therefore need different identities. A laser scanner shines light across the symbol. White spaces reflect more light, dark bars reflect less. A sensor converts that pattern into a number and sends it to the retailer's point-of-sale system. The database returns the product name and current price. The barcode itself normally does not contain the price. That is why a retailer can change a price centrally without reprinting every package. A check digit helps the system detect an incorrectly entered or misread number. A barcode works globally only because companies agree on a shared identification system. Without standards, two products could receive the same number, or every retailer could create a different identity. GS1 manages the standards that prevent this chaos and allow companies to create controlled product identifiers. Once assigned, the same identity can be recognized by warehouses, marketplaces, distributors, and stores. The systems may use different languages, currencies, and software. The product identity remains consistent. For a CPG brand, this is part of market access. Without accurate identifiers and product data, a retailer may not be able to list or receive the item. The beep at checkout is not the end of the barcode's job. It is the beginning of a demand signal. Retailers can see which SKU sold, in which store, and at what time. They can identify fast sellers, measure promotions, and detect potential stockouts. Imagine a heat wave causes one soft drink flavor to sell much faster than expected. Every scan lowers the recorded stock. The replenishment system recognizes that the shelf is emptying faster than planned. It may recommend an order, allowing the distribution center to allocate cases to the affected stores. If demand continues, the supplier may adjust a future production run or redistribute inventory. Barcodes also verify warehouse activity, from receiving and storage to picking and dispatch. The barcode answers the first supply chain question: what exactly is this? Once identity is reliable, systems can ask, where is it? How many are available? Where should it go? And has it been sold? RFID can read products using radio waves without always needing a direct line of sight. It can identify multiple items quickly and give each physical unit a unique serial identity. That makes RFID valuable in areas such as fashion and high-value inventory. So why do barcodes still dominate grocery and CPG retail? First, cost. A barcode can be printed directly onto packaging. RFID adds a tag, readers, and system integration. Even a small additional unit cost matters when multiplied across billions of low-margin products. Second, installed infrastructure. Stores, factories, and warehouses already have mature barcode systems. Third, network adoption. A replacement creates value only when manufacturers, logistics providers, and retailers can use it together. Barcodes need visibility, are usually scanned one at a time, and can fail when damaged. But they remain the lowest cost, most interoperable technology that reliably performs the job across most retail networks. The future is not barcode versus RFID everywhere. It is choosing the right technology for each product and process. Consumers usually notice barcodes only when something goes wrong. A damaged symbol may require manual entry. A duplicate identity can cause two products to be confused. Incorrect dimensions, weight, or case quantities can disrupt warehouse receiving and transport planning. For a CPG company, manufacturing the product is only half the launch. The digital record must also be correct. Modern supply chains depend on two flows: physical goods and the information describing them. When the two disagree, deliveries may be rejected, listings may be wrong, and shelves may remain empty. In global retail, data quality is not an administrative detail. It is part of the product. The linear barcode is not disappearing overnight. But retail is moving towards richer two-dimensional codes. A 2D code can carry or connect to information such as batch, expiry date, serial number, and online product content. A consumer could access ingredients, allergens, instructions, or recycling guidance. Retailers could use the same symbol for checkout, inventory, and more precise recalls. With suitable systems, 2D codes could support expiry alerts, targeted markdowns, and digital product passports. RFID will grow where item-level visibility justifies the cost. Computer vision will recognize products using their appearance and context. Many products may eventually use more than one technology: a barcode for compatibility, a 2D code for richer data, and RFID where deeper tracking adds value. The technologies may change, but the principle remains the same. Every product needs a standardized, machine-readable identity. Return to that pack of gum in 1974. The purchase was ordinary, but the information created by the scan was revolutionary. Products became machine-readable. Sales became item-level signals. Inventory became connected to checkout. The barcode did not succeed because it was glamorous. It succeeded because manufacturers, retailers, and logistics providers adopted a common language. In supply chains, a simple standard used by everyone can be more powerful than a brilliant technology used by only a few. Now that language is evolving, from black lines to 2D codes, radio tags, and connected products. But the original promise remains: give every product an identity, make it readable, and allow information to move as quickly as the product itself. The barcode is more than a checkout tool. It is invisible infrastructure that allows global retail to scale. From barcodes and pallets to warehouses and global logistics networks, this channel explores the hidden systems behind everyday products. Subscribe to CPG Supply Chain for more stories about the technologies and strategies that keep global commerce moving.